friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. Well, I will admit it. I do believe that RFK is the right man for the jab. Absolutely. He has said so himself. He stated unequivocally and emphatically, and I quote, I recommend parents follow the CDC vaccine schedule. Absolutely. He will do a great jab as HHS secretary. Oh, yes, I coined it. You heard it here first. I'll have to put it on my list of Peggyisms, along with what in the non-spinning world, the public serpents, people that had to get their religious exemptions at the woke place so they wouldn't have to become human pincushions. Oh, yes, RFK is going to do a great jab as HHS secretary because he supports an uptake in vaccines. In fact, and I quote, he says, I want to protect vaccines. Well, you know what? I think he probably needs a new logo. Oh, I should probably make some new little onesies that say, Mommy, take me to the doctor to get my jabs because Bobby said so. Let's take a look here, shall we? Well, here is the current logo over at Children's Health Defense, but I've made a little improvement on it. Yes, I think it should more accurately be Children's Vaccine Defense. Well, let's just hear it from Bobby himself. He stated, I recommend parents follow the CDC vaccine schedule. He also stated in his opening statement, without even being asked or prompt, he voluntarily said, vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. And over the course of his testimony in front of the Senate confirmation panel, he stated, I want to protect vaccines. Now, friends, you know that I can't stay silent on this. And I have been taking some slings and arrows on my Instagram page. You see, apparently the Instagram followers are not quite as sophisticated as my lovely healthy Americans here on YouTube, which is why YouTube is my preferred platform. But if it ever goes down, please find me at peggyhall.substack.com. So I made some posts here also with his own words. Let's listen to this. Now, I know the voice is difficult to understand and listen to because you have told me that, and it may not match up with the video, but let's just listen from, how does the saying go? The horse's mouth. Here we go.
That vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. All of my kids are vaccinated. I believe vaccines have saved millions of lives and play a critical role in healthcare.
Well, there you heard that one. Let's go on.
Get their children vaccinated against HPV.
I recommend that children follow the CDC schedule, and I will support the CDC schedule when I get in there, if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed.
Would you your children vaccinated against the measles? Yes or no?
Against measles? Yes.
Well, recommend that parents get their children vaccinated against HPV.
I recommend that children follow the CDC schedule, and I will support the CDC schedule when I get in there.
All right, friends, you'll see that it is very, very difficult for the followers on Instagram to face the facts. My comment is, in response to those who say, well, he's just saying that to get confirmed. Peggy, you don't understand politics. Who else would you want to have? Well, I've got answers for those questions, but no one will answer my question, which is simply this. How many children are you okay with being harmed by his relentless, now that I'm going to call it that, how many children will be harmed by his policies? How many parents will follow his recommendations? And I want to know that you are okay with that. So no one in the comment thread cares that millions of children are going to be harmed because of his words. That makes me the bad guy for caring about that. Please forgive me for being a critical thinker and caring about the truth. So yes, RFK is the right man for the jab. In a moment, we're going to be looking at some of your comments. But as I say, I cannot stay silent on this. The number of deceived individuals who are blinded by their savior, RFK Jr., they are hearing him in his own words in real time say that he supports these cocktails and that he recommends the CDC childhood schedule. And he recommends that parents get their children the cocktail for measles and polio and HPV and everything else in the 70 plus more cocktails on that schedule. That doesn't bother anyone. That's not on anyone's conscience that children are going to be harmed because they are following this man. And instead of the defenders being upset with their savior, they're upset with me for simply pointing out that this man is either a liar, he's either lying or he's telling the truth. So neither sits well with me. People are saying that he is calling for transparency and trust. Once he gets in, then he's going to change his tune. So that's the good news, friends. It's okay to lie when you are applying for a job, as long as the ends justify the means. So he is now telling you he's never going to lie to you. Or is he lying to the senators? Well, we know that he lies to his wives because he has admitted to cheating on them. So he's either telling the truth or he's lying. And people will say, well, Peggy, actually, let's do this. Let's take a look at some of the comments and some of my responses. So here we go. I just grabbed a few here and I repeat, RFK is definitely the right man for the jab. He is going to do a great jab as HHS secretary. So this is just a sample comment that really sums up what a lot of people said. And she goes on to say that if he told the truth, very few senators would vote for them and fewer Americans would be interested in the subject that he obviously cares about. The truth is only for those who deserve it. And these public servants don't deserve it. So this is from Lady M. Well, Lady M, how many children are you in favor of being harmed who are going to follow his recommendations? Let me know in a comment below. Oh, you're not going to comment, are you? Oh, no, because none of the RFK supporters and defenders and sycophants, yes, look up that word if you don't know what it means, none of them will ever answer my question about exactly how many children should be harmed, and innocent animals for that matter, in these safety trials that he is constantly calling for, along with Aaron Siri and Del Bigtree. And then RFK comes out and says, well, we are going to do the gold. Yes, it's the golden age. The dawn, the DON of the golden age. We're going to have the gold standard in science because, friends, then he can tell you it's time to roll your sleeve up for the junior jab because they have the correct science these time. Here's another one. Steph says, people in the Bible lied in the Bible to protect others. Stop attacking Kennedy. Do you want to protect the innocent? Would you lie to protect the innocent or let them die? You, meaning me, Peggy Hall, are a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so my polite answer was, so you are in favor of more children and parents following the CDC schedule that RFK now recommends to parents? How do you square that with your conscience? How is that protecting your children? RFK will have these harms and deaths on his hands. Friends, the hypocrisy is astounding. Doesn't it feel like we're back in 2020 trying to wake people up about the cooties hogwash? That's exactly how I feel. And perhaps all of these people are already human pincushions. So maybe I am just arguing with idiots. All right, Lorraine, thank God, left a comment. And she said, right on, Peggy. I couldn't have expressed it better myself. I was a big fan of Junior becoming director of HHS, but watching the hearings with his answers on the various controversial topics, especially including the cocktails, have horrified me. He's either tried to play two sides of the street, which you have so intelligently pointed out, and then she goes on to say, or he really is in favor. And my answer was, I'm so glad you have the discernment to not fall for the lies. As I say it, reading between the lies. So many are blinded and following him without question. That was exactly the plan all along. Two Hearts knows the score and writes exactly, Peggy, you hit the nail on the head as usual. He's just another player on the evil group's team. Otherwise, he would not be there at all. EG says 100% good guy, bad guy tactic. Nothing new here. That was on my other video about the good cop, bad cop. Another commenter said, it's a good thing I did not believe him out of the gate. Susie says, hey, Susie, she says, never trust a Kennedy. They are all actors and liars, and don't swallow the poison he is currently handing out. Now, here is I've just summarized some of the most common responses and defenses of this reprehensible actions and statements of this man. So here is one, very similar to others. Science will never be able to conclude the safety of these products. So there you have it. Well, my response is exactly how many children and animals should be harmed in the meantime with these safety trials that he insists on, which only enrich the pharma companies. Friends, guess what this commenter's answer was? You're right. There was no answer. No one has ever answered that question for me when I just politely pose it to them. Exactly how many children is it okay to harm in the meantime of this charade? Exactly how many innocent animals should be harmed? Well, we know how RFK feels about animals, puts them in a blender, I hear. And this guy could be jabbing infants on the floor of the Senate, and his defenders and sycophants would be applauding him, saying that he has to do it in order to get the jab. Oh, excuse me, I mean the job. This is what the sycophants say. He has to lie to save lives. He's only saying this to get nominated, Peggy. There's no one else who could do the job. Friends, that's called a false dichotomy. That's like saying you have to raise the minimum wage or people will starve. Well, how about letting them keep their own hard-earned money and stop stealing it out of their paycheck? Every paycheck. There's one idea. How about someone else who could do this job, who is not going to lie, who is going to present facts and data and information? Friends, we know it's all a dog and pony show anyway. Come on, it's all scripted. Those senators were reading their script and RFK was reading his. Sadly, many are blinded. Those who didn't fall for the first wave of the hogwash are now having the hogwash sloshed all over them now, and they're going along with it because they lifted this man up as their savior, a false savior. Someone else says, well, they'll see once real science, the gold standard, is performed, that these cocktails are not safe. So they say it's all a charade, but will never answer my question. How many innocents will be harmed in the meantime? How many innocents are going to be harmed or killed due to his reckless comments promoting exactly what we heard him promote? I have to be a little careful here for the algorithm. You know exactly, and you know how to read between the lies. One of my comments to these individuals who said, Peggy, I've been following him for years. I know exactly what his strategy is. Well, my comment was, well, join me daily on my YouTube channel where I have been defending truth. I'm not defending RFK. I'm defending truth, and I have done so for several years, and I will continue to do so as long as I can with my God-given unobstructed breath. I am not in favor of putting more children's lives at risk with his recommendations. You are honestly okay with that? Why didn't he use facts and data to make his points about these harms? It would have made the senators look like the idiots they are. How can you support someone who wants to protect the cocktails instead of protecting the children? Friends, he says it here himself. I don't know how many selves he has, but he said it. I want to protect the cocktails. That's exactly what he says. So he is not protecting children. He is protecting the cocktails. I go on. Here, Julie says, Peggy, why these relentless posts against RFK Jr.? You are losing your credibility. Of course, RFK's not losing his credibility. It's okay for him to lie and cheat and to present himself as one way and another. Friends, have I ever presented myself other than pursuing the truth? I had people go after me when I exposed the Vatican. I had people go after me when I exposed Netanyahu. I had people go after me when I exposed the hidden agendas at the woke place. I have people going after me because of RFK. I had people going after me because of Trump. So come on. I am not doing this for views or accolades. I do not lie to fit the narrative like RFK Jr. He's either lying, and you're okay with that, or he's telling the truth, and you're okay with that. So no, Julie, I'm not losing credibility. RFK Jr. is losing his credibility. She says that I'm insisting that he's not involved in the greater good. Well, friends, that tells it all. Yes, the greater good, the common good. Oh, he's exposing corruption by saying he goes along with the CDC. He's pushing to clean up the corruption and promote full transparency by lying. Is that awesome, you guys? Julie, I pray for you that you will come out of the spell and that you will no longer be blinded. She says, just stop with your continued attacks on him. My posting his snippets of his Senate confirmation hearing is attacking him. This is the sad state of affairs we're in, friends. I thought, everybody that took the cocktail over the cooties a few years ago, I thought they were already gone. Apparently not. They walk among us. I replied, you should be attacking RFK for his reckless statements that are going to harm countless children instead of attacking me for pointing out how dangerous it is. Oh my gosh. Yes. Here's another comment. People say he's not mandating anything. No, he's just telling parents to go along with the CDC. So you're okay with that. You are okay. You say he is lying to protect lives. Explain that to me. He is harming lives and putting lives at risk. Repeat after me by publicly and unequivocally and emphatically recommending parents follow, what he told them to follow. How is that saving lives? He's not defending and protecting children. He is defending and protecting the cocktails. He said so himself. How can people be so blind to this? They're falling for his deception, hook, line, and sinker. He is reeling them in. Now, Jillian, I really want to applaud Jillian, and I hope she's watching. She said, this makes me sad because I believed in him until that moment. Jillian, I applaud you. You are not being blinded by some sort of false savior. You are in pursuit of the truth as I am. You are willing to say, I was deceived and I'm not going to be deceived any longer. That is the sign of intelligence and emotional maturity. Now, Neuromommy got it straight. This comment says, I'm not sure why people think RFK Jr. is some sort of savior. She says, I am anti-cocktail. He is not. Now, she does say that I support him because he supports scientific questions, but that I definitely don't agree with her there, because that is one of his comments and positions so that he will be able to come out at the end and say, we did the correct science, and now these products are necessary, safe, and effective. As I said, there are people who would defend him if he was holding down a screaming infant and jabbing that infant on the Senate floor. People would defend him and say that that had to be done. Friends, this whole Senate confirmation hearing sounds like an advertisement for the pharmaceutical companies anyway, even those like Rand Paul, who are saying a few things that people are going to applaud, are not going to hear the other things that he snuck in there. So yes, Bobby has bamboozled millions. My prayers go with the millions of children who are going to be harmed because of his promotion of these products. He said it unequivocally. He gave no exceptions. And I'm stunned by the number of people who are supporting and defending this man who is either lying about his trust in these products or he's telling the truth. Either one is chilling. My esteem of those who used to stand with me side by side on the platform speaking about truth has dropped considerably. I'm absolutely shocked that they have fallen for his lies. Now, you may think I'm coming across as a little harsh, but consider this as a life-saving message. That's the old logo. Yeah, here's the one that they should have right here. Perhaps, there are some that are not able to discern his lying or his telling the truth. And they don't want to hear about the mothers. And I'm going to bring you a mother tomorrow on my private webinar. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play a couple of snippets for you later today. And you are going to hear exactly how she has been speaking up against Junior for many years. He will never answer the concerns of millions of moms. She said, having him state that he is pro-cocktail is like telling the parent of a mother whose child died in drunk driving that he is pro-drunk driving. Now, I do want to say this. He has said before that he was fighting to get mercury out of fish, and no one called him anti-fish. Well, Bobby, I hate to break it to you, but fish are not injected into our bloodstream, and they're not created by pharma, and they're not being promoted by the federal government. So that is such a weak red herring and straw man argument, Bobby. Come now, you are an attorney. Oh, that's probably why you use that. And of course, you should trust him. He doesn't lie, only to his wives. He doesn't cheat on his defenders, only on his wives. He has admitted that, but I get it. I do get it. You don't want to accept the fact that you have been lied to, that you've been cheated on, just like Bobby's wives. Yes, Bobby Kennedy has cheated on you. You have fallen prey to the Bobby Kennedy bamboozle. And you probably will fall prey to the Junior jab when he comes out with his own custom signature jab that, of course, has been thoroughly vetted through all of his gold standard science and all of the safety studies that he's been calling for all these years alongside with Aaron Siri and Bigtree. He's corralling all of those that have been opposing these products, just telling them, they were rushed to market. They have not been tested long enough. But with Bobby at the helm, you can trust him. That's exactly what he said. He said that his job is to restore trust in the government, because then you will believe what the government tells you. Yes. Well, you know what, Bobby? Hashtag never have, never will when it comes to trusting the government or you. This incessant worshiping of Bobby Kennedy has blinded people. I feel like I'm back in I almost said it, in the cooties days, trying to talk sense into people. The same kind of irrational responses are coming out of those that I thought were in favor of the truth. I hear it again and again. Well, he's not going to mandate it, but recommending it isn't going to do enough harms. Plenty of people got the cooties cocktail, even though it wasn't mandated, because Trump told them to. And now Bobby the bamboozler has been trotted out and put into a position to corral all y'all who once were against these products. And now you are standing up and applauding this man. I am shaking my head and praying for y'all to come back to your senses. All right, just a question for the Kennedy supporters. Just one or the other, is he lying or is he telling the truth? Just tell me. And the other question, how many children are you okay with being harmed in the meantime? Yes, he's okay with that. And apparently you are as well, because no one has ever answered these questions. I am absolutely horrified at the blatant disregard of children by so many so-called health, truth, and freedom advocates. They have so little regard for the innocent victims that will be harmed because of his comments. Blatant bamboozling by Bobby Kennedy. And instead of speaking out against his comments, they are cheering him on. It is truly like living in the Twilight Zone. Oppression again, and people are just unable to see it. So friends, I'm not exaggerating. These are his exact words. He says he is going to restore trust in government, in all of these agencies, so that when the government tells you something, you are going to believe them. What say you? Are you going to believe the government? Have you been bamboozled by Bobby? Are you going to roll up your sleeve for the Junior jab? Am I attacking him? Am I out of line? Should I bow down and kiss his feet? Oh, no, not me. I'm going to hold his feet to the fire, because apparently no one else is. Friends, join me on Saturday for our private live webinar for all of my supporters. You are going to hear from Laura Hughes, who has been on my channel before. I'm going to share a few snippets for you coming up. She is going to tell you exactly how she caved, she capitulated because of people like Bobby Kennedy persuading her to undertake these unnecessary and harmful, how do I put it, procedures for these innocent infants. You're not going to want to miss it. If you think you should be on the invite list, email us, support@thehealthyamerican.org. Everyone else who joins us monthly, it's the same link as always. And I look forward to seeing you there. And in the next video, remember, my new broadcast time is 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, as my healthy Americans, for your sophistication, your intelligence, your discernment, your support, your encouragement, and your ability to read between the lies.